So in this video, I'll be chatting with you about my post-grad life. I'm now 26 and I graduated like 3.5 years ago, and I am currently working full-time but switched like my career like most recently. So yeah, I just want to talk about what it's like to be in my late 20s after uni, what it's like to make friends and things like that, and also like my experience moving out as well. Let's get to it. So I didn't have any food yet, so I'm gonna be eating while chatting with you all. So if I'm like talking and not if I'm eating and not talking, yeah, you just bear with me. So I made myself this, like as usual, my toast and egg and avocado. One of them has eggs and spinach and cheese, other one has cheese and avocado and spinach, and I got this multi-grain bread from Woolies. So yeah, let me have one bite. It is very it's very filling and fluffy, this bread. The egg makes it less drying. You get the ASMR. We're back. I'm gonna get some. Let's talk about the first topic, which is about making friends post-grad. So I'm just gonna put my tissue there. So honestly, a lot of my friends that I have, I made through uni, and also like I kept friends from high school. Wait, one bite. I'm gonna have my coffee. So I made dirty chai latte. So I put my chai tea and with espresso coffee, like instant coffee, and soy milk. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna eat a bit more. Food makes me so happy. Okay. So, as I was saying, so I think the real answer for me, I want to say, is making friends after uni is actually really hard. And not a lot of people talk about feeling like lonely, and I mean, a lot of people on like YouTube have posted about not having friends or close friends, and I kind of understand them. I would say I am privileged to have met friends during school and uni. So I would say that I've never really experienced having no friends at all, and I think because I'm pretty lucky that I was placed in situations where making friends were really easy. But I would say making friends outside of those environments are really hard. I haven't really kept any close friends through like other like settings or situations other than school. So yeah, I think that's something I wanted to share with you guys, is that it's definitely not that easy. Okay, I'm gonna have another bite. I guess I can go back to my experience, I guess, making friends right after uni. And I think a lot of people probably in my situation where you can make friends at work. So let's talk about that. Okay, so making friends at work is probably the easiest way to get friends after graduating. For me, what helped me make work friends is to really be open-minded about the types of friends I'm making. Have to realize that their upbringing is different from mine, because I obviously didn't go to the same school as them probably, or didn't grow up where they grew up, and that means that we might have differences in our values or like thinking. But I think what I felt got me closer to specific co-workers is definitely our interest. So I bonded through like doing things together with my co-workers outside of work. But if I don't share like a common interest with a co-worker, I would definitely say it's harder to get close. And yeah, there are times when I will meet people along the way but never actually got really close with people, because when you move jobs you feel like that's kind of like the end of your friendship too, because you don't really have like a reason to see each other unless you kind of initiate like hanging out. I'm not saying that any of these friends are bad. Like, I think it's just hard to keep that many friends as you get older, because you realize that you don't have as much time as before. On my weekend I like to chill at home and to make sure that I get my like kind of like errands and other stuff done, because I live at home, because I don't live at home, I have to do a lot of the cooking, the cleaning, and yeah, I guess I don't have like parents or family to kind of fall back on. And yeah, so I really think that my time is quite limited, and so I really am more picky about who I hang out with and who I want to spend my time with. So another thing I want to talk about is you learn to let go of friends who are not like serving you, or not even friends. I think it's like people in your life where you meet them but you know that they're not meant for you, and I feel like you learn to read people's energy well, and also learn to like stick with your boundaries as well. So whether that be like a relationship or a workplace or a friendship or or even family, like I feel like you kind of learn like, okay, so I can actually support myself financially, so I have the choice to choose who do I want to spend my time with. And I feel like you realize that, okay, like when I do spend time with these people, like how do I actually feel? And as I got older, I realized that how I actually feel actually affects my like everything. It affects my mental health, it affects how I view myself, it affects on what opportunities I take in my life. And because if you think about it, how you view yourself is obviously going to affect your behaviors and how you show up to the world. If someone in your life is always putting you down and always controlling every action that you take, obviously you're going to be more reluctant to take up new opportunities, or opportunities are going to challenge you. So yeah, I think also surrounding yourself with people who you want to be is also something that I learned is a really good tip for someone who wants to like better themselves. Like for me, I realized that the people around me now, they are people I want to be. they are people that like inspire me. It's not like to do with their success or anything. I see it as like they have a really healthy mindset. I'm not saying that they're perfect people, but I would say that they treat me with so much respect, and other people as well, not just friends, but they treat like people with respect. They don't judge people all the time, and they are very empathetic people. And our friendship is not about going out and partying. Not saying that is like a bad thing, like to bond over like going out and partying. Like I obviously like to go out and have fun, but I think my friendships are not bonded through just going out and like partying, and like after that party like you're not friends anymore. So I definitely had those type of friendships during uni, but now like when you're not in that environment more, like everyone has their own life, everyone's trying to build up their career and also settle down. So a lot of people's priorities are different now, and you end up finding that there are like, it's pretty interesting, but you end up find people your age who might still be in the phase of like going out and partying. Not saying that's a bad thing, once again. I think you just realize that at this stage, like not everyone is like ready to settle down and focus on their career. There are people who are in so many different stages in their life, and it doesn't even like there's no like alignment with people's ages and where they're at in their life. So like for example, for me in my friendship group, I feel like I'm the only one that has like moved out and live alone with not a partner or with and I don't live with family. So I realize that my situation is very different from everyone else, but I'm not saying that my way is right or their way is right. I think it's more of understanding like where you're at in your life and where you want to be. And I've learned not to compare myself to other people, and sometimes you might feel like you are alone, especially if your close circle is not in these situations, like they're not in the same situation as you. And what I realized is like it's really important to be vulnerable and honest with your friends, that you do feel sad sometimes and feel left out, or feel like not like your life is not going the way you plan to, and like you just need their support and them to be present. So yeah, I also try to seek out people who are in similar situations to me. So I just finished eating. My phone storage was like running out, and my batteries was also running out, so I took a bit of a break. So yeah, I guess I was talking about friendships and what it's like to make friends after uni. And yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is that friendship is something, I think like we all learn that it changes over time, right? And what has been one of the lessons I've learned is that you need to really learn how to nurture friendships too. So there might be times where you are busy or your friends are busy, but I think if you put in the time to meet up with them, and it doesn't have to be like planning something extravagant. I feel like the best friendships are those friendships where you don't plan anything, but you just meet up with each other and you just can just talk and like feel like it's like old days. I've kind of learned not to put too much pressure on myself or the other person to plan all of these different activities when we're together. I see it as like, as long as they're putting effort to see me. And I think what's important is that when I'm with them, they are fully present with me. They're not on their phone. They are like not like, I think they are showing their appreciation as much as possible, like in terms of like, oh, like appreciating that like I've made effort to see them, and also yeah, like I think overall showing that they value my friendship and that's something that I've been really reflecting on a lot. So yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about is moving out and what it's like to move out. Moving out of home and also living in Sydney too. So moving out has been a big roller coaster road. I think it was definitely, I would say it was easier than I thought in terms of the logistics of things. Like, things happened really quickly, but I think I didn't know how hard it was emotionally on me. And like, I would say to the point that I felt like I was finding it hard to sleep at night because of all of the anxiety inside me about my future and what it would look like and how I'm going to sustain myself in this current like living situation. So yeah, it's definitely something that has came up in my mind a few times moving out of home. I think about, okay, like now I have to financially support myself, and a lot of things has changed in terms of my lifestyle. Like, I can't easily just say yes to things like going out with certain friends and eating out all the time. I am sad to say that I had to say no to going out with friends because I couldn't like afford it, because I have to make sure I have food on my table for the week and pay rent and all of these things. So it's definitely tricky if you're someone that like isn't financially, I guess, like ready to move out, and you put in a situation where you have to move out, or yeah, there's so many different scenarios where someone will move out. But if you're someone that wasn't prepared for it, I definitely can empathize with you. It's not an easy transition, but I definitely know that it is definitely worth it for your mental health and for like that freedom to really be in your own safe space and to really be the best version of yourself. And I think that sounds really cheesy, but I think it's really true that like the environment that you're in is so important for your whole overall well-being, like how you view yourself, how you like show up to the world. It really is to do with the environment that's around you. And I think I've definitely learned that because I myself have shared to my subscribers that I have been through therapy a lot of times, and it all comes back down to my environment and me choosing environments where it didn't serve me. And also sometimes it's, I guess, it's situational as well, but I think choosing, you kind of got the full control over where you are at. And I know that like when you're young, you don't really have that control over who you live with and where you want to live and things like that. But as you get older, if you ever have the chance to move out, I definitely recommend it. It definitely has helped me a lot. Once I changed my environment I was in, I felt like a lot of things has changed in terms of my mental health. Obviously, my mental health isn't perfect. I think people think of mental health as like, once you're better forever, but it's not true. There are moments where I have a lot of anxiety, and I have a lot of low moments as well where I do just end up crying. And I think it's just, I've just reached the point where I have accepted that there will be points in my life where I am trying to process things, and that's okay because it's all part of our healing journey. But yeah, there are definitely pros to moving out. I feel like I have so much freedom. I'm learning a lot about how to cook and do things around the house, and at I don't think I am at an age that's young to move out of home, but I would say that a lot of people are moving out of home later and later in life. So I do feel like I am in Sydney. You will see that a lot of people do live with their family because Sydney's really expensive. Unless your parents like have been supporting supporting you financially throughout the years, so you've been able to save up for your own property, and then you can move out. Like, there's a few people who are like that, who can afford to move out because their family have never asked them for rent money or for food money or for anything really. Like, all they need to do is just live there and get fed by their parents. So I definitely think that there's people in Sydney who are able to move out, depending on the situation. But I think I haven't really seen anyone in a similar situation to me where we don't, where they weren't able to save as much money because they had to pay rent even with their family. And maybe, yeah, like basically that. And like, I wasn't able to afford to just buy a property and live there. So I definitely say that it's possible. I'm definitely an example of someone who have moved out without my own property, and I'm still surviving. Obviously, it's not an ideal situation, but I think it's the most ideal situation for me and where I'm at in my life. And I just wanted to share this with you because I don't want this like story to be like something that I should be shameful about. I feel like it's so important to share parts of my life that's not all like perfect. And I think I'm really grateful that there are people on my channel that have shared really vulnerable parts to their life and their career. And I also want to be really honest with you that there are parts of my life that are not perfect, but I'm learning a lot from it. And I am just like overall very grateful for where I'm at in my life, where I am in my career. Even though I've just switched careers, I still feel very grateful for my life. I am learning a lot about not comparing myself to people my age and comparing myself to people around me either. So yeah, I'm really learning to be content. Obviously, there are days where I do feel down, I do compare myself, but I think that's just a really normal part of being human. But yeah, I guess I wanted to end this video with like kind of like my thoughts around loneliness as well, and how I cope through loneliness, and yeah, basically that, and also things I kind of like looking forward to in this space as well. So yeah, so I guess feeling lonely is a very normal feeling. It comes with I think for me, like, I realized that when you do get into your late 20s, a lot of people around you might get into relationships or settle down and live with their partner, or like kind of prioritize relationships. So that's definitely someone that I was as well. For a very long time, I feel like it all started my early 20s. I really focused on relationships and tried to not be lonely, and I'm realizing that my whole approach to this was wrong. And I also think that I put loneliness as something that's the worst thing that can happen to anyone. But now that I've watched a lot of videos about people feeling lonely while being single and in their late 30s, in their 30s, or like late 20s or even early 20s, which I feel like is so crazy that people feel already this pressure to not be alone at such a young age. But I honestly, now how I think about loneliness is it's like all a part of a human emotion. Loneliness comes when it can happen even if you're in a relationship. It can happen even if you're around people, and I felt those before. So I realized that loneliness is like a kind of like a signal. Like any emotion is a signal, like a message to tell you how your body feels, and also getting you to choose to do things that will kind of like address that loneliness too. So I think of that example of when I felt lonely when moving out is there are moments when I would be eating at home, my landlord is not at home, and I feel this hit of like, wow, like I came home from work, or I just finished work and then I have dinner, and then I kind of like, I don't have people there waiting for me to eat with, and having to share a meal with someone as well. Like my meal is just me, myself and I, and every day when I do eat dinner, it's either like me talking to my sister, which has been like the most like I think I really think that I could get through all of this loneliness because I do have my sister who does call me often, or I call her, and I don't feel lonely at all. Like, and we don't live that far away from each other, but there's moments when obviously like she has her own life and I feel this like, oh, like I'm actually alone. And yeah, like there's definitely moments where I do feel lonely, but it is definitely a normal feeling. And so it's getting a little bit dark in here because my lighting is running out of batteries as well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah, if I missed out on anything, let me know and I can create another video soon. I think you guys enjoyed this kind of like sit down video while me eating as well. Like, it's something new that I've been trying out. I'm just trying to figure out like what you guys like and what you guys like to watch. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.